Aaron Rodgers, Michael Thomas, Julio, Stephon Gilmore, Christian McCaffrey, number 5, Lamar Jackson, 4, Aaron Donald is 3. The number 2 player on the list is the answer to this trivia question. He has 100 passing touchdowns over the last 3 seasons, most in the NFL. Without further ado, primetime player number 2.
The second player in our first take NFL primetime players ranking is Russell Wilson.
Russell, he's going to throw downfield. Touchdown, Seahawks! What a pass by Russell Wilson. I see you, baby.
His 86 regular season wins are tied with Tom Brady for the most by a quarterback through their first 8 seasons in NFL history.
Russ is going to let it fly. Metcalf reaches up. He makes the catch near midfield. Oh, thank you, everybody.
Wilson has 100 touchdown passes over the last 3 seasons, 15 more than the next closest quarterback, Tom Brady.
Wilson's going to go deep, wide open, and into the hands of David Moore.
Player number 2, Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson.
And look who decided to show up, Mr. Big Shot himself of NFL Live with my girl Laura, Mina, and Dan. Always good to see Marcus Spears. Marcus, we will get to you in
my people.
Right?
What's up?
It's been too long. It's been too long. Max, I'm going to start with you here. So Russell Wilson, the runner-up to the top player in the NFL, according to our experts. How much does he need that second ring?
A lot. He really needs it because Russell Wilson, on the one hand, there's a perception of him, and then on the other hand, there's the reality. The reality is he's an all-time great, but because he's short, because he's mobile, and came into the league at a time right before that was fashionable, right? Well, he's too small to play. Well, you got to stand in the pocket and take hits for some stupid reason instead of moving around and picking up yards outside the pocket or keeping using your legs to avoid stuff and keeping your eyes down the field and completing big plays. Like, why not do both, right? Well, he came along a little early from that, and now we're in an era with a couple of guys who make his athletic ability not the thing that you just go crazy about. Like, he's not the athlete Lamar Jackson is, for example, and he's not going to put up the numbers or is as impressive as Patrick Mahomes. And so he's straddling those 2 eras as a great quarterback in both. And because of all that, the perception never caught up to him. Early into the reality of how great he is. Early in his career, it was like, well, the defense is really doing that. And he's a good game manager who has some ability, can make things happen when you need him to. But they're really riding that defense. And look what happened when they went away from that. They lost the Super Bowl on an interception thrown by Russell Wilson. Why not let Beastquake take that in and or Marshawn Lynch take that in and not make it about Russell Wilson because they paid him that money. They wanted it to be about him and he can't handle it. Like, there's that stuff going around about Russell Wilson. But the reality is, he's just about as great as anyone who ever did it. It doesn't come out of his hand as pretty as like Aaron Rodgers or guys like that, but year in and year out, he's right there among the very best. And if you look at his career and compare it to the all-time greats through the first, 7, 8 seasons now, Russell Wilson's got much better numbers than like Tom Brady did. And the fact that he's second to Brady in wins, well, he's not being coached by Bill Belichick, respect to Pete Carroll, but he ain't Bill Belichick. So Tom Brady has raised the standard. It used to be you need a Super Bowl, or sorry, Jim Kelly, your name doesn't come up enough, right? Sorry, Dan Marino, you can't be considered the greatest, even though our eyeballs say maybe he was. But Brady raised the stakes. First Montana and then Brady. Now so many Super Bowl rings. You can't really be talked about in that uppermost echelon of greatest of all time with just one nowadays. You need another. And it would validate him for the people who don't really get how great he is. And that narrative has always been out there about him. It's starting to change. But I think he really needs another one to cement his legacy. Russell Wilson's not trying to be second best to anybody, ever. He's trying to be as good as he can be, and I'm sure he's competitive and thinks no one's better than me. And without a second Super Bowl, he won't be remembered that way.
Well, one day you'll be kind enough to leave at least one side to the rest of us. But since you're not, I'm just going to ignore that. And I'm going to tell you that bottom line is that there ain't no way in hell
What side didn't you like
that he needs a second championship. I'm just saying, you took so many. I'm just saying, you explained everything. Leave something to the rest of us. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. When you talk about a second championship, I do not believe that Russell Wilson needs it. I only think he needs it for people who don't know football. Anybody who's got any inkling about what comes with football and what football entails will know that Russell Wilson does not need another championship to cement his legacy as one of the great quarterbacks this game has ever seen. The man is absolutely phenomenal. And when you look at what he's at, and by the way, nobody blames him for that damn interception in the Super Bowl. Everybody blames Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevel, whoever the hell, which one of them caught the damn play, because it never should have been caught to begin with. You should have gave the ball to beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, who was wreaking havoc that entire second half, give him the damn football, and you got a two-time Super Bowl champion in the Seattle Seahawks. Plain and simple. But they made that idiotic call and told Russell Wilson to throw the damn football on that play, and Malcolm Butler made a tremendous play, and as a result, they lost the damn Super Bowl. In the end, here's what it comes down to. Russell Wilson, his decision-making, his mobility, his ability to throw the football, his ability to go through his progressions, read defense, things of that nature. This brother has proven what he can do. And over the last several years, since the Legion of Boom has dissipated before flat out evaporating, he has held this franchise afloat. In his 8 years there, the man has only missed the playoffs once. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And then now this year, not only is he going to have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and more, but they just acquired Greg Olsen because he's no longer a Carolina Panther. He's signed with them now. So now you got production from the tight end spot, which we all know serves as somewhat of a security blanket, which Brady taught us with Gronk, and he's going to teach us again with Gronk, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, and those boys. So the way I look at it, I think that Russell Wilson is a stud. I think that he has proven he's a stud. He's gone to back-to-back Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl championship. And the bottom line is, if we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, and we should because he's a bad man, the bottom line is we should be talking about Russell Wilson too. I don't believe he needs, the operative word is need, a second championship. It'd be nice if he got one. He deserves it. But the operative word is need. He does not need the second championship.
Stop saying need like that.
Listen, man, I have to.
Floor's yours,
I tend to agree with. I tend to agree. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I tend to agree with Stephen A. on this one, though, man. I think sometimes, and Max, you have a point with saying what Montana and Brady did, but I think sometimes it gets a little convoluted about how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. We lose sight of that because we've seen 6 be won now in nine attempts. We see Patrick Mahomes almost go to 2 in his first couple of years of starting as a quarterback. But when you look at Russell Wilson, man, there is nothing left. Like if Russell Wilson retired right now, legitimate argument to be a Hall of Famer, number one, if not already a Hall of Famer. But if you also look at the course of his career, name me the receiver that Russell Wilson has had that a lot of these other guys have. He's made every single guy he's played with better. The last pretty successful year that Jimmy Graham had was with Russell Wilson. Now Stephen A. brings up Greg Olsen. Olsen's been hurt, but we all respect him as a tight end when he's on the field. Russell Wilson adding to what Greg Olsen can be, we all believe it's going to be better. We look at DK Metcalf. Now he potentially, they tried to do it with Josh Gordon. Now he potentially has a threat to just throw it up there and be able to make plays. Listen, Russell Wilson to me gets lost a little bit, and I'm going to make a comparison here. It's a little similar to Drew Brees, all right? We know Drew Brees' stats. We know what Drew Brees has done, but the one Super Bowl moniker, and I understand where you are with that, Max, holds Drew Brees back from being in the conversation when we start talking about Peyton and Tom Brady. So for the purposes of the conversation of being one of the best or top 5, I get where you're coming from, Max, but he does not need another Super Bowl. One is hard to win.
That's what I'm saying.
I had 9 years in the league, never sniffed one. But Russ is going to be respected regardless.
But that's what I'm saying. Of course, we all agree that he's a future Hall of Famer, that he's already done enough, that he is a great player legitimately, and history will remember him that way. Okay. I don't mean he needs a second Super Bowl to get that. That's obvious. That, what I just said, still underappreciates him, I think. I think Russell Wilson has a chance to be in the GOAT argument one day. He says he wants to play till his mid-40s, and Tom Brady now, disproving my cliff theory, but proving my ravine theory, is showing like you can, like it is possible now to play into your early 40s at least and still be a competent quarterback. Russell Wilson maybe can do the same thing. Russell Wilson, based on the numbers, based on where he ranks among his contemporaries every year, based on how his teams are always playoff teams because they have him as a quarterback. You think he doesn't want to be in the GOAT conversation one day? He doesn't need anyone's charity. Well, he's a great quarterback. Yeah? Tell me your top 5 quarterbacks of all time. You see Russell Wilson heading there? Because the numbers say maybe he should be. I'm saying to get the kind of respect, to finally not be underappreciated, but for people to really understand what he's done so far, let's say he doubles what he's done in his career, he needs another Super Bowl win or he won't be in those conversations.
Well, I don't care if he wins another Super Bowl. He's not going to be in the conversation as the greatest ever. He's not. He's going to be in the conversation as a great one,
sure,
as a Hall of Famer. But when you talk about the greatest, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Russell Wilson is not going to be in that conversation because primarily, even last year, they had the 14th ranked passing attack. They had the 4th ranked rushing attack with Chris Carson and those boys, okay? But when he was winning Super Bowls, it was about the Legion of Boom. You are right from the standpoint that there is something missing in terms of the respect and the right, deference that he may deserve. But the bottom line is that even if he got it, there's still legitimate football excuses to leave him out of the GOAT conversation.
If Drew Brees, quick, yes. Stephen A. If
Greatness,
Drew Brees,
yes. Hold on. No. We heard you. The bottom line is GOAT conversation is different than great.
I have a question for you.
And that is the reality of the situation. And when you playing in the same era as Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and those boys, no, they're not going to give that to Russell Wilson. No, they're not. And Aaron Rodgers.
I have a question for you. If Drew Brees wins another Super Bowl, is he in GOAT conversations? Yes or no? Drew Brees wins another one. Has a great year, wins another one. He will be.
No.
Yes. Drew Brees is better than Russell Wilson? Are you sure? I don't think Drew Brees is better.
Excuse me.
Through half his career, Russell Wilson is better than Drew Brees was.
As a passer, yes.
As a passer, yes. As an overall quarterback. We're talking about quarterbacks. It's more than just passing the ball.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's already in it. He's already in the GOAT conversation. We don't think that Drew Brees is the GOAT, but he's already in it. Yeah.
He's already in the conversation.
What I'm saying is, right now, if you look at Drew Brees, if you look at Drew Brees at the same point in his career as Russell Wilson is right now, Russell Wilson is at least as good as Drew Brees was. At least as good. But Stephen A., you just said he's not going to be in those conversations for you no matter what. This is what I mean by being underappreciated. He's going to need another Super Bowl at least to force his way in there.
Stephen A., let me...
Yo, can we respond to what that, your gibberish? Can we respond?
Drew Brees owns elite records in this league. That's why Drew Brees is in the conversation. Listen, you can go back to Peyton Manning before he went and got it done in Denver. There were questions about it, but it was because of the numbers. Right now, Russell Wilson doesn't have those gaudy numbers. Drew Brees is the all-time leading passer with yardage in the league. He has to be in the conversation. Yes, the Super Bowls would compound that, and maybe we would talk about him being...
I'll wait to respond. Go ahead, Stephen A.
Go ahead.
Over 70,000 passing yards. Russell Wilson's at 29. I mean, come on, man.
He in it, bro.
We understand that running comes with it. We understand that running comes with it, Max. But the bottom line is when you're a quarterback, your primary responsibility is to throw the football. If running needs to be thrown into the equation to such a significant degree, maybe we should bring up Tim Tebow. How about that? Come on.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Okay, let's not get hysterical.
Of course,
Come on.
throwing is the most important thing. Passing's the most important thing.
That's what we talking
but it
about.
is not the only thing. And by the way, your passing yard stats and stuff like that is like batting average in baseball or RBIs. Once upon a time, that was the most important thing to look at. Since then, people are looking at more advanced stuff. And according to those kind of numbers,
They look
Russell
at more
Wilson's
things, but
right
they don't
there with a
ignore
guy
the
like
batting
Drew Brees
average.
through the first
They
7
don't
or 8
ignore
years
the
of his
batting
career.
average. You don't
Hey,
bet.
party
I don't
people,
see
Wilson
somebody
has
somebody
never
betting
received
200.
an MVP vote. Let's all talk at the same time. All right, we're going to have the number one primetime player on First Take a little bit later in the show. There's one GOAT in football. His name's Tom Brady. And there's one GOAT in basketball. His name's Michael Jordan. Speaking of Brady, Bill Belichick with high praise